We're back from IBM ConnectED 2015 with the overview here at Spike Studios, and I'm just going to sip my IBM tea and eat my Lotusphere cookie.
It's IdoNotes and Lotusphere podcast. We take a whirlwind look at IBM ConnectED 2015.
Welcome everybody. It is an IdoNotes Lotusphere podcast, IBM ConnectED 2015. Call it what you will. It's done. It's over. Quick episode. I just want to do a recap, talk about the important things, talk about the fun things, skip the sad things that we may know about, and go from there. First things first, everyone always asks, the Lotusphere book bag. I don't know why this is such a big deal to all of you, but I'm here to humor you as best I can. Actually, I think they did a great job this year. Last year we were a little confused because we couldn't find the straps, if you all remember that one. This one, standard book bag, had two slots, one for your laptop and actually one for your iPad. So that was kind of impressive. Inside was absolutely no paper, but maybe 4 sheets, I would say. A few cards, some things you do, really nothing else important. They handed you a separate conference guide, which was nice. They did not have one in the badge that actually would be one that folded out. So there was no fold-out version that all of us liked. Also, I will say this. The lovely badges were the nice rope kind, not the little thin, cut your neck, slice you, kill you kind. They did a really good job with those. Now the book, full color, had maps, had all the sessions, had all the pertinent information you probably need. They did have one little session update sheet that came later because some things changed. And for those that need to know, the front pocket does have pockets, does have a key holder, does have a thing put your headphones through, did have a bunch of pockets on the inside. Enough of that. Let's talk about the important things. First things first was IBM Verse. The keynote was all about the Verse. They did do their normal, we're a scenario, we're a company that makes bitcoins or something. It's actually the Greenwell Financial Company. Last year, we talked about how they pretended to be someone else and they were all these different roles. This year, they were themselves and they just did demos. It worked really well. People were happy with the keynote, happy with the OGS, a little thrown sometimes by the choppiness of it, which I do agree a little bit. It didn't seem to flow as much as just, here. But overall, it went over very receptive to the audience, let's say. No one was screaming more demos at the end, which we heard in previous years before. IBM Verse, though, was the big thing. As you can see, we've got plenty of pictures, plenty of things online. Everyone was promised an invitation. Everyone was promised access within a month or so. When I say everyone, I mean everyone that was there. I don't mean everyone in the world. They do have a lot of people they say have signed up. The UI is something that was talked about a lot. It's heavily enabled with connections if you want it to be, or it can just be standalone. What it does for you is totally up to your perception. Is it strictly a new way for it to go through your mail for you? Is it a new way to view your inbox? Does it have great calendaring sections? It has all of that built in. I have some blog posts coming totally separate on Verse. I'll link to those later on, and you should probably keep up with the blog and make sure you read all of those posts in the near future. Also, the IBM Slides and Sessions database, the one I do each and every year, I take all the ones that people put on their blogs in public. There's no good way to put them all together, and we have a single central database. Link will be below in the show notes. You can definitely check that out. It has 2013, 2014, and hopefully shortly a bunch from 2015. Right now it only has a handful as the speakers start putting their stuff online. One big thing that came up during the week, and we should just jump ahead to the end of the week, Cookiegate. The Lotusphere cookie, folks. I mean, this is the lifeblood of the end of the week. What happens each year is on the last day, which this day was sad overall, but you get a box lunch. You walk in, you get a box, you open the box, and inside is the Lotusphere cookie. It's magical. There was no Lotusphere cookie. Instead, we got a shrink-wrapped little thick chocolate chip thing. So it was an attempt. Insider sources say, wasn't ordered, wasn't on the plan, wasn't there. At the CGS closing general session, they sent up the I don't know what her title is, I apologize, something in marketing, vice president, or I don't know what it was. They sent her up as the scapegoat to say, we've heard your cries about Cookiegate. So Cookiegate was announced. They did say they understood the pain and frustration, but said no mention of where it was. I don't know where it went. I couldn't tell you, but I can tell you right now that thanks to Carl Tyler, a bunch of us got our Lotusphere cookies. So thanks to him. What else this week? Digital experience was a big deal. They talked a lot about the upgrades and the enhancements to the digital experience. I'm still not sure exactly what it is, except a lot of stuff around Portal. So if you like that. Sessions for the week. Wow. Sessions were technical. There was no complaints I really heard about the ability to go to technical sessions. I know people like, Gab Davis presented, Julian Robichaud presented, Kathy Brown presented. I was up there. Matt Newman did his user blast. It was just endless in terms of the technical, and then of course tons of X-Pages content. I always forget because I'm not a developer, but those guys did a slew of X-Pages development stuff. There was a lot about more cloud. I even did a session on cloud deployment considerations, but there were sessions about IBM Cloud. So everything you could want to know was pretty much out there. They did the history of Lotus. It was the 25th anniversary of Lotus. So what you got was a cake one day, some champagne the other day, and a bunch of people celebrating that part. That was all a lot of fun. The sad stuff, we will touch on it. You know what? This possibly was the end of what we know as IBM ConnectED. So that means IBM Connect, Lotusphere, call it what you want. You know, it was Lotusphere, then they snuck IBM Connect in as a single day, and then they took it, and I predicted it, they flipped it and said IBM Connect will be the main event. Lotusphere was a technical track, and then we went to IBM ConnectED, which was this past year, and now we're saying possibly merging the conference into another conference because they stood up at the end, it's up on my blog now, and said, we want to welcome you all back next year. We don't know the date, time, place, name, location, just next year. What we're thinking, and this is all just guess at this point, is that it'll be merged into one of the other IBM conferences like Interconnect, which is held in Vegas and is a merger of a bunch of other IBM events. So take that how you will. Doesn't make a difference. We have 20 years strong of Lotusphere. The community is probably one of the best ones that are out there. The IBM champions came together at the end and did a big picture. The bloggers did their annual photo. We have a slideshow up with that on my blog already that shows you the years. Missing a couple. If you have those years, please get in touch with me. I'd love to add them into the slideshow. And had everybody a lot of hugs and a lot of happiness at the very end. So there was no issue there. What else did they leave us with? Verse. One thing we should also mention about Verse is the freemium model. So for those of you that are interested in signing up for the beta, there will be a freemium model. Now I've heard variations of this. Jeff Schick said it on stage, so no one can hold me responsible for saying these words. He said it will limit the number of messages per day. Now, take that how you want. That could be received, that could be sent, that could be total. That could prevent spammers from utilizing it as a huge service. Either way, they did present it as a solution for users for free to get inside of it and possibly, use it to leverage selling it to your enterprise. They will have an enterprise paid version available as well. I imagine there will be some sort of domain or URL that you will use for your email, like IdoNotesIbmversemail.com or whatever it works out to be. And then if you are an enterprise, you could probably move your domain in because that only makes sense. You wouldn't change your domain for your email system coming in. But they did mention a freemium model, so everyone, please keep aware of that. There are restrictions around it. They haven't quite said what it is. It even could be file attachment sizes. Who knows at this point? We're hoping to get more news on that in the coming weeks. Once again, look for that information on the blog. So I probably did miss something. I just wanted to give an overall recap. Oh, I should also mention, because someone will get mad at me, the parties. I know I keep saying this is the end of the video, but I keep throwing stuff in. The parties were kind of weak. One, the welcome reception, it was in the vendor area, which was smaller than usual before, but basically it fit the mode of the conference itself. So it worked out very well, kept everybody compact, everyone enjoyed themselves, the vendors got a lot of traffic. I heard a lot of good things from the sponsors and vendors down there, that they got a lot of good traffic while they were there. But the parties themselves were just kind of ho-hum. I know everyone missed the previous stuff. You missed all the big beachfront activities, the tents, the heater lamps, the TVs, when the games were on, walking back and forth, and the thousands and thousands of people. I mean, this was a, couple thousand, 2,500 person event, so it was a little more compact. The dining was not in the normal place in the Dolphin. It was actually upstairs in the Dolphin, which was a little weird for some people. It's in the old OGS Center for those that didn't go this year. Imagine you went upstairs for the opening general session in the huge room. Yeah, that's where we ate lunch. So it wasn't downstairs in the other lunchroom. There was another conference going on for a couple days down there. I believe it was called IMS. So they had that lunch area. We had the upstairs area. So it got full. I will say that much. It did get full. But it was just a different experience, different time. The weather was gorgeous. Everyone enjoyed themselves, enjoyed spending time. Kimonos was on tap as always. I have pictures up on Flickr. So once again, everybody, thank you for attending. If you did go, thank you if you came to one of my sessions. And for those of you just watching and trying to keep up, please follow all the blogs. Everybody's posting so much stuff. We have a group on Flickr. And otherwise, that's a wrap for IBM ConnectED 2015. I hope I see you all again in 2016.